Hey guys, what's up? It's Phoebe from Alternativetwist Radio. Today's new artist spotlight is MohaviSoul. We have Randy Hansen here. Hi, Randy.
Hey there, how y'all doing?
I'm so glad you can join us today. Now, we're missing a few members of MohaviSoul. You want to give them a little shout out? Tell me what instruments they play?
I do. My partner in crime that helps lead the band is Mark Miller, plays guitar and writes some great songs. We also have Ben Bostwick, who's playing bass for us. And then we also have Jason Weiss, who's one of the best banjo players on the West Coast. That's part of our crew. And then we have multi-instrumentalist playing fiddle for us. And that's Dan Sankey. And he's pretty amazing as well. So that's the whole crew, all five of us. I play mandolin and write songs as well.
When I first found you guys, I think I found you on one of the Facebook music groups. I love your music. I love bluegrass, folk. So I think your music, it kind of goes into all of it, right? A little bluegrass, folk, yep. A little bit of country, seems like. How would you describe it? What genres?
Well, actually, there's a weird new category, which you may or may not have heard of, called Grassicana. And
Grassicana.
Yeah, and it's a crossover of Bluegrass and Americana. And actually, if you go to Bluegrass today, they actually have a Grassicana radio chart. So you can actually see, and we've charted there for several songs this year already, but you'll see a lot of the more progressive bluegrass, contemporary bluegrass crossover type bands are in that category for what it's worth. You know, Americana is such a hodgepodge of different styles and whatnot, but and bluegrass itself has widened quite a bit as well. It's not just the traditional stuff anymore. The gospel, those are the two other categories that they have charts for, gospel and traditional bluegrass. But yeah, so I guess we're Grassicana.
I love it.
If we we are Grassicana.
I love that combination. That's such a cool word too. Very nice. So how did you form MohaviSoul?
Well, it was kind of an ironic thing. We were Mark and I were part of a group that was led by Cliff Kelly here in San Diego. There was a San Diego songwriters group, and one of the things that we did as part of that songwriting group is that we participated in a local thing called The Game. And The Game was a local entity that basically would throw out a couple of song titles, and you had 6 weeks to write a song and perform it. And so Mark and I ended up collaborating on a couple of songs. There was actually one of them ended up being the title track of our first EP called Every Second. And so anyway, so we ended up performing, and people went crazy, and we go, well, maybe there's something here. So we started hooking up with our bass player at the time was Orion Boucher. Who's a Berkeley music grad, and Jason Weiss, and so we started recording right away. And that's really what we were hoping to do, is write songs and record. So that's really how it all started, and that was 10 years ago, and 2012.
What a cool story! I like that. So what about the inspiration for your music? You mentioned, was it Mark that does a lot of the writing of the songs? How does that work out?
Yeah, he and I do almost all the writing, and unlike a lot of others, he comes from West Virginia and is a West Virginia refugee that's relocated to San Diego. He's been here quite a while, and I am a fifth generation Californian, and so we come from really different settings, and so instead of collaborating on songwriting, we actually write separately, and we think that gives us a lot more variety in the kinds of topics and styles. He has a different style of writing than me, and whatnot. Where we do collaborate is when we then bring it to the band and we turn it into a song that's a MohaviSoul song. So the arrangement and any other tweaks to the lyrics or whatever might happen at that time, but that's really that's our recipe for what we've been doing all this time, and it really gives us a lot more variety. We have different vocalists that are lead vocalists, which gives more variety. Different kinds of leads going on with the different instruments, and then really different storylines. They really come from our different paths in life.
I really like that. And one of the songs, one of the songs that I really love. I mean, I love all your songs, but the ones that really stood out. And I played your album to our station owner Mike also, and the one that really made us chuckle was White House Blues. And I'm sure it's kind of controversial and whatever, but it's a funny song, and I really liked it. Do you want to tell us the writing process behind it?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, and actually it's a classic one. I thought you were going to say Squirrels in My Car, which is a whole different story. But what happened with that, and we have several other songs that are in this kind of genre. Breaking Down is another one, where I wrote a sequel to another song that's already a famous bluegrass song. So there is a famous bluegrass song called White House Blues, and it's about the assassination of McKinley and his wife bringing him home and whatnot, and that whole story is, we won't go into that, but it was really it's a classic. It's been played for years and whatnot, and we said, well, with all the political shenanigans that have gone on since McKinley, we're way overdue for a sequel. And so I ended up writing that, and I tried not to get too political, but you can see there's little inferences in there that really kind of get to the despotic nature of our current political dance that we're going through, the do-si-do and whatnot. So that was really that was the inspiration for that. And so that yeah, it's just an example where we've written a sequel to another song as an inspiration.
I really loved all your songs, and I was trying to think the story behind it, because the one that you mentioned about the squirrel in the truck, that was really funny too. And we were laughing. It was kind of distracting. We were listening to your music and then laughing, but then you have to focus. No, okay, don't laugh. You have to listen. It was really funny.
Real quick, the squirrel thing was, I had a friend post, he wanted me to post something on Facebook. He was doing some kind of fundraising for children with autism, and so he had all these different phrases, and most of them, for even for me, were inappropriate. And so, but one was, got squirrels in my car, and so I posted that, and I've posted all kinds of different stuff, both personally and for the band and whatnot, and that got more posts than just about anything I've ever posted. And everybody, I couldn't believe how many people have had squirrel stories, and it goes on from there. I've gotten more squirrel stories since then. And to wrap that up, we were finishing our last show at IBMA World of Bluegrass in Raleigh back in September, and these young ladies come up to us and they go, "Oh man, I'm so glad you played that song." And we look at them and go, "Oh, that's great. What song are you talking about?" She goes, "Oh, Squirrels in My Car." And I go, "Really?" This is why. Well, why is that? She says, "Well, we all have pet squirrels, and we have a pet squirrel association, and we're going to make your song our national anthem." So it was like, so we're going, okay. So if you got any squirrel stories, we're still compiling them.
Oh man, I have one for you. Oh my goodness, this is probably off topic, but so we moved from the desert to the city now. This has been the last 3 months. And we have so many squirrels in our yard right now. And we have outdoor cats, indoor and outdoor cats. But our outdoor cats, we feed dry food. We leave a little container of food out there. Well, I'm telling you, we had 20 to 30 squirrels just run and just ambush the dry food. And they were getting up in the container. I mean, they were really getting squirrely in there. And they were taking all the food, and the cats were just watching them, just chilling, just oh, well, there's another squirrel. Oh, there's 50 of them. Oh. They weren't doing anything.
It's a party. Share.
Yeah. Then ants are now getting to, whatever. But yeah, so there's a family of 30 of them, and they would be hoarding, their cheeks full of food, hoarding all the food. So, there's a huge pile of cat food underneath some, shed out there in the yard.
Right, and if you look at, we have a picture for each song, and if you look at the one for the Squirrels in My Car, it's a squirrel driving a Corvette with Barbie, and he's running over a dog on one wheel there. So it's not. But anyway, so.
Oh my God, that's too funny. Very relatable, I'll tell you.
Exactly.
Well, funny. So I've seen a lot of action on your social medias. I see you guys playing a lot of gigs in Southern California. Where can your fans find you playing next?
Well, we are at the end of July here. We're back at the Grand Ole Barbecue in Flint Springs, which is just east of El Cajon, in between El Cajon and Alpine on the east side of San Diego. And we're there Friday, July 29th. And then we're doing a sit-down concert for the San Diego Folk and Heritage Association in Carlsbad at a church. And that's going to be August 13th, Saturday, August 13th. So those are a couple upcoming gigs that ought to be a lot of fun. And the Grand Ole Barbecue is great. They got a big stage in the back, plenty of parking, great barbecue, good selection of beverages and so on and whatnot. So it's really a neat place. We played there back in February. And so we're back there again for a Friday night on the 29th. So that ought to be a lot of fun.
Nice. And your gig in San Diego, I think you said it was El Cajon, right?
It's a little east of El Cajon, Flint Springs, it's called, yeah.
Okay. What time does that start? Because I was trying to find the time that you guys start playing. I couldn't find it online.
Yeah, no, well, hopefully it's on our website. It's listed in our gigs, but it's 6 to 8 p.m. And apparently they have some cranky neighbors out there, so they can't go past 8. We offered to go past 8, and the guy that runs the sound goes, no, you can't do that. We start getting cranky calls. So it's just 6 to 8 out there. And again, the one in Carlsbad will be neat because it's going to be at a church and great acoustics there as well and whatnot. We have an opening act, Ramona Alt, and some of her friends are going to open for us at that show. And we like to do the sit down shows. We just did up in Julian, California at what's now called Heroes. It used to be Winola Red Barn Pizza. It's now Heroes Pizza on the north side of Julian. And those are kind of sit-down shows, and it's a lot. We can tell a few stories and whatnot. We're not just trying to crank out entertainment behind people drinking or whatnot, that kind of thing. We don't do a whole lot of our gigs other than we open for national acts at some clubs here in San Diego, but we're not typically a bar band.
I'll check that out. I'm writing that down. So yeah, because we're going to try and make one of those gigs because we love your music. It's really fun.
Great, thanks.
Yeah. So what is next for MohaviSoul?
Producing an album that, as a lot of people did, I'm sure you've been almost, run over, inundated, whatever you want to, overwhelmed. So many people during the pandemic couldn't play. Most festivals were canceled, whatnot. So what did people do? Same thing we did. We said, well, we're going to sit down, we're going to write some songs and record them and make us an album. It's our second full album. So, but ironically, what's come out of that is that we're already writing other songs. So we almost have enough for another album. And what a lot of people are doing now isn't really releasing full albums anymore. They're releasing singles, and then maybe that'll be a compilation to an EP. So that's probably what we'll do for what's up next, to answer your question more directly. But that's probably what we'll do is release another EP, hopefully next year and whatnot. And we're still trying to play some festivals. We just got back from Prescott, Arizona. We played the Prescott Bluegrass Festival over there in June, the end of June. So that was a lot of fun. Had people dancing in the monsoon rains. So, but yeah, we hope to, our big thing is recording and writing. So that's really what we like to do, and then get it out there and tell the stories that go with it, wrapped in music.
I love it. I'm very excited to hear your new single coming out, and definitely send it over to us. So we'll add it to the station in a heartbeat. We'll do. Thanks. Yeah. So why don't we take this moment and we'll watch your music video.
Okay.
All right, it's a folk festival, so unlike some of the other places we play, we can actually do something that's a little political. So we will. This song I wrote, it's off our new CD, Hometown Blues. Get it from us, we got them out back. This one called Ferguson Fight. It's about the riots in Ferguson, Missouri. Maybe we can take back the night. Did we miss out on the fight? Is the revolution worth the price? Can we take back the night? Blacks and whites are filling the streets. Bottles and rocks are falling at my feet. Hey, Ferguson, take on the fight. Don't you go and steal the night. Stolen from the left and taken by the right. Cry your name and steal the dream. So take me back down to the border. There ain't no law and order. Blacks and whites are filling the streets. Bottles and rocks are falling at my feet. Hey, Ferguson, take on the fight. Don't you go and steal the night. Is the revolution still on tonight? Did we miss out on the fight? Is the revolution worth the price? Take back the night. Can we take back the night? Take back the night.
That was a great video, Randy. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you. And this is Randy Hansen with MohaviSoul, and you're listening to alternativetwistradio.com. And thank you for having us, Phoebe, and thanks for playing and spinning our music. And we look forward to seeing you and your listeners at some of our shows and down the road less traveled.
Thanks for watching, guys. Please share, like, and subscribe to our channel, and find us on all of our social media, links in our bio. Thanks.